Australian, I guess I'm a product of two different, cultures. One of, where I was born as a migrant. I was born in Laos, which is a landlocked, developing country in Southeast Asia. The country is Buddhist and very conservative, so you get conflicting views when you come to Australia, But on the other hand, me as a person, I'm also I grew up all my formative years in Australia, I learned how to drive a car, did my high school here. So growing up as a migrant has given me a unique perspective on what it means to be an Australian. Like all I ever wanted to do as a kid or in high school was to fit in with the rest of the kids, but as I got older I realised that my culture is what makes me Australian.
So what do I think Australian identity is? Well, I think there's no such thing as Australian identity because Australia is what it is today because of the multiculturalism. It's based on the different cultures of the people who migrated here, and I don't think that there should be a label such as an typical Australian.
When I was younger, when I first started going to school, my mum used to cook me like proper meals for lunch, like fried rice and stir fries and stuff like that. And all the other kids had sandwiches. I really wanted a sandwich. So I went home one day and I was like, Mum, will you please make me a sandwich? And she was like, yeah, okay. So, I begged her that she made me a sandwich. And I got to school, opened my lunchbox, there was a sandwich in there. I was happy.
Have I ever considered myself an typical Australian? Well, I don't really consider myself a typical Australian because I don't really endorse in the culture that much. I mainly base myself in the Chinese culture as my family and most of the people around me do. So I don't really consider myself a typical Australian. Well, when I was in primary school, I would often bring sandwiches because I felt weird if I brought like fried rice or something, which would make me seem like an oddball out. And when I was in primary school, I really wanted to be seen as an Australian because being here at such a young age, I wanted to fit in. Why do so many people see Australian identity as only white? Well, I feel like that's because most people who assume that haven't actually visited Australia, like once you visit here, you'll see that there's different ethnicities like everywhere. You walk onto the streets and it's not all white. It's like you'll run into so many different ethnicities, and like you'll see a lot of Indian restaurants or Chinese restaurants, but you won't actually see an Australian restaurant because what is an Australian restaurant?